Episode 1 of Chainsaw Man drops us into the miserable life of Denji, a teenage devil hunter drowning in debt that isn't even his. He wakes up in a shack with his only friend, the chainsaw devil pup Pochita, and heads out to work, killing devils for the Yakuza just to scrape by. Denji casually lists the body parts he sold to survive: a kidney, an eye, even a testicle. And after all that, he still owes over 38 million yen. Devil hunting is the only thing that pays, so he and Pochita take down the tomato devil. But when the Yakuza boss tallies the fees, Denji is left with almost nothing. Dinner? A single slice of bread for the month. On the street, the Yakuza humiliate him for fun. One of them offers Denji 100 yen to eat a cigarette. He pretends to swallow it just to get the money. That's how low his life has sunk. Back home, Denji talks about normal things he's never had: jam on bread, going on dates, having a girlfriend. These tiny dreams feel impossibly far away. We flash back to when Denji first met Pochita. After his father's suicide left him with crushing debt, a wounded Pochita appeared in the woods. Denji let the devil drink his blood to survive, and they made a deal. They'd help each other live. From that day on, Denji became a devil hunter for the Yakuza. One night, coughing up blood like his late mother, Denji is summoned for another job. The Yakuza drive him to an abandoned factory, but this time it's a trap. They've made a deal with the zombie devil. Denji and Pochita are stabbed from behind and left for dead as the Yakuza transform into zombies. Denji tries to escape but is overwhelmed, stabbed repeatedly, and tossed into a dumpster. As his blood drips into Pochita's mouth, we hear Denji's old words echo. If he dies, Pochita should take his body and live a normal life. Inside Denji's subconscious, Pochita offers a new deal. He'll become Denji's heart in exchange for seeing Denji's dreams come true. Denji awakens in the dumpster, pulls a cord from his chest, and transforms. Chainsaws erupt from his head and arms. He tears through the zombie horde in a brutal frenzy, laughing as he fights. For the first time, Denji isn't fighting to pay debt. He's fighting because he wants more from life. By morning, the massacre is over. A public safety squad arrives, led by Makima. She finds Denji barely conscious in his strange hybrid form. Instead of killing him, she gives him a choice: die like a devil or live as her human pet. Denji, half delirious, asks one thing: "What's for breakfast?" When Makima describes bread with butter and jam, salad, coffee, and dessert, Denji agrees instantly. For the first time in his life, someone promises him more than survival. And just like that, Denji's new life begins. Denji heads to Tokyo in a car with Makima, his stomach growling the whole way. She calmly explains his new situation. He's under her care now, and he's expected to respond with yes or woof. If he's useless, he'll be put down like a dog. Denji realizes the woman he likes is also terrifying. At a rest stop, Makima buys him udon and even gives him her coat to wear. For someone who's been treated like trash his entire life, this kindness overwhelms him. Weak from blood loss, Denji nearly faints, and Makima feeds him the noodles herself. When he explains that Pochita became his heart, Makima says she believes him. Her sense of smell tells her he's both human and devil. Then she says she likes the Denji type, and his brain practically melts. They arrive at Public Safety HQ, where Denji gets a uniform and meets his new senior partner, Aki Hayakawa. Aki immediately dislikes him and drags him out on patrol. In an alley, Aki beats Denji and tells him to quit before he gets himself killed. Denji cheerfully admits he joined for Makima. That only makes Aki angrier. Denji fights back in the pettiest way possible, by repeatedly kicking Aki in the groin until he collapses. Despite this disaster, Makima assigns Denji to Aki's unit anyway. She explains Denji is a rare case, a human who can turn into a devil. If he disobeys or tries to quit, they'll kill him. They'll work together until he dies. Denji moves into Aki's apartment and immediately becomes a nightmare roommate, using all the toilet paper, hogging the bath, and stacking jam, honey butter, and cinnamon onto toast like it's a masterpiece. Aki's patience is already gone. Their first job together involves a fiend, a devil possessing a corpse. Aki tells Denji to transform and fight, but Denji just kills it with an axe. He says he didn't want to make it suffer. Aki snaps, revealing his entire family was slaughtered by a devil. To him, devils deserve pain. Denji admits that if he could be friends with a devil, he would, because he doesn't have any friends. Later, Denji reflects, his life is already better than he ever imagined. Good food, baths, a job, and Makima. But something still feels missing. Then it hits him. He needs a new dream. Back at HQ, Makima announces Denji's new partner, Power, a loud, arrogant fiend with horns and zero manners. Denji is immediately distracted and thrilled that fiends can be devil hunters too. Makima warns them that Special Division 4 is experimental. If they fail, they'll be eliminated. While on patrol, Power grows restless and claims devils flee from her scent. Suddenly, she smells blood and bolts across rooftops. Denji chases after her as she leaps into action. They reach a scene where another hunter has located the sea cucumber devil. Before anyone can react, Power creates a giant blood hammer and obliterates it in one hit, laughing as gore flies everywhere. Denji watches in awe. Tokyo devil hunting is chaos, and his new partners are completely unhinged. After Power recklessly kills a devil, Makima scolds her and tells Denji to keep her under control. Power lies and blames Denji, shouting that devils don't lie, only humans do. Makima ignores the blame and demands they learn to work together. That night, Power pets a stray cat and admits she hates humans and devils but loves cats. She reveals a devil kidnapped her pet, Miui. If Denji helps her get Miui back, she'll let him touch her chest. Denji instantly agrees. They get permission to leave HQ and travel to a rural house. On the way, Power says the devil might use Miui as a hostage, so Denji must fight. Denji talks about Pochita living in his heart. Power bluntly says that just means Pochita is dead. At the house, Denji realizes Power is acting suspicious. Before he can react, she forms a giant blood hammer and knocks him out. She drags him inside and offers him to the Bat Devil in exchange for Miui. The Bat Devil drinks Denji's blood to heal but spits it out, disgusted by the taste. He decides to go find better humans to eat. Power demands Miui back. The devil shows the cat in a cage, then swallows it whole. A flashback shows Power once found Miui starving and planned to eat her later, but grew attached instead. The Bat Devil had taken Miui and forced Power into this deal. Back in the present, the Bat Devil swallows Power too and flies toward the city to hunt children. Denji, still alive, grabs onto his leg and drinks the devil's blood to recover. Remembering how it felt to lose Pochita, Denji pulls his cord. Chainsaws burst out. He slices off the Bat Devil's arm and the fight crashes into the city. Denji yells at civilians to run while the devil throws cars and debris at him. Denji catches a thrown car and tosses it back. He admits he's not saving people out of kindness, he just wants to win. Even after being blasted away, Denji stands up, furious that he still hasn't gotten his promised reward. That frustration fuels him. He charges forward, cuts through the Bat Devil's arm, torso, and finally splits him in half. Denji stands victorious, drenched in blood, having saved people and avenged Miui, not out of heroism, but for the pettiest motivation imaginable. Back in the present, Power and Denji are trapped inside the Bat Devil's body. Miui is still alive, and Denji has also survived, but Power is shaken when she realizes Denji saved her after she tried to betray him. Denji, however, is focused on something else entirely. He immediately reminds Power of their deal. She promised him he could fondle her chest if Miui was rescued. Power agrees without hesitation. Denji is overjoyed until his arm suddenly gets torn apart by a new enemy. The Leech Devil appears and starts overwhelming Denji. Power is completely drained and unable to help. She tells Denji to escape with Miui, but he refuses to leave them behind. Denji tries to fight in his weakened state, but his chainsaw form is unstable due to low blood. The Leech Devil mocks him and reveals she was the Bat Devil's partner. She considers both Denji and Power disposable. Denji is beaten repeatedly, thrown into buildings, and nearly killed. Despite this, he keeps getting back up. Power watches in disbelief as Denji continues fighting for something as stupid as a promised reward. The Leech Devil tries to finish him off, but Denji refuses to back down. He declares that all the serious motivations, revenge, justice, protecting others, are meaningless to him. Then he challenges her to a dream battle, saying his dream of touching boobs is just as real as anyone else's. If he wins, that makes his dream valid. This absurd declaration shocks Power and even the devil. Denji charges again and uses the environment cleverly, tying the Bat Devil's leftover body parts to restrain the Leech Devil. He pushes forward despite being brutally injured, laughing through the pain. In a final desperate exchange, Denji slices through the Leech Devil's neck using his chainsaw and sheer momentum. Before he can fully recover, the Leech Devil tries to finish him off, but suddenly Aki Hayakawa arrives. He summons the Fox Devil, which instantly devours the Leech Devil and ends the fight. After the battle, Aki orders cleanup and rescue operations. Denji is barely conscious but still muttering about his dream battle. Power is recovered along with Maui. Aki notes that Denji and Power caused chaos but also eliminated 2 devils without casualties. In the aftermath, Aki brings Denji to the hospital. Denji's arm is reattached using devil blood techniques. Aki explains that devil hunters form contracts with devils in exchange for parts of their bodies. He warns Denji that devils and fiends are still enemies. Despite everything, Aki allows Denji and Power to stay, under strict conditions. Denji agrees casually, showing he still doesn't fully understand consequences, only that he gets to keep living comfortably. Later, Makima reviews the report and quietly shows interest in Denji's unpredictable success. Aki insists Denji is useless, but even he admits the results are hard to ignore. The episode ends at Aki's apartment, where Denji, Power, and Maui all crash together. Chaos immediately resumes. Power is filthy, refuses to bathe, eats horribly, and treats the house like her own kingdom. Denji and Aki are already exhausted. Then Power reappears and reminds Denji of their deal. She leads him into the bathroom and allows him his promised reward. Denji, overwhelmed, finally gets his reward for everything he's endured so far, leaving him more emotionally confused than ever. In Hayakawa's apartment bathroom, Denji completes his deal with Power, squeezing her chest 3 times. It turns out she's wearing breast pads, making the whole thing far less impressive than he expected. Power declares they are now even for saving Maui and decides to officially assist in devil hunting with Denji. The next morning, Denji is still mentally broken from the experience while Power happily eats breakfast, stealing food and causing chaos. On patrol, she repeatedly pesters Denji and he barely responds, still stuck in a daze. At Public Safety HQ, Makima helps Denji fill out endless bureaucratic paperwork after their devil missions. Denji confesses that achieving his earlier dream, touching breasts, didn't feel as satisfying as he expected. Makima calmly responds that intimacy is about understanding someone deeply, not just physical contact. She guides his hand, making him focus on subtle sensations, touch, warmth, even biting his finger, intensely flustering him. Then Makima shifts the conversation. She tells Denji about the Gun Devil, a catastrophic entity that appeared 13 years ago in America and killed over 1.2 million people in minutes. Its existence increased global fear of guns, which in turn made devils stronger worldwide. She reveals that fragments of the Gun Devil still exist and are being tracked because devils grow stronger by consuming them. Makima makes Denji a deal. If he kills the Gun Devil, she will grant him any wish. Denji, overwhelmed, confirms multiple times that this includes anything. Makima agrees without hesitation. The story briefly shifts to Aki Hayakawa's past. We see his childhood with his sick younger brother Taiyu and strained family life. Despite illness and tension, Aki and Taiyu share a rare moment of bonding during a snowball fight. Moments later, their home is destroyed in an explosion linked to the Gun Devil, implying Aki's deep personal motivation. Back in the present, public safety prepares an operation. The team discusses gun devil fragments used as tracking tools. Denji and Power are assigned to the mission despite mistrust from others. Himeno motivates the group with a reward. Whoever kills the devil gets a kiss. Denji, uninterested in anyone except Makima, declares he's only motivated by her. Inside a hotel suspected to contain a fragment-eating devil, the group enters. Tension rises as civilians and rookie hunters begin exploring. Suddenly they encounter the Eternity Devil, a grotesque entity formed from the building itself. The devil manifests and traps the group inside the hotel, marking the start of a deadly survival situation. The mission inside the hotel quickly turns into a nightmare when Denji, Power, Aki Hayakawa, Himeno, Kobeni Higashiyama, and Hirokazu Arai realize they are completely trapped on the 8th floor. No matter which door they take, they loop back to the same hallway. Even worse, every clock in every room is frozen at exactly 8:18. Aki quickly concludes they're inside a devil's territory, something that bends space itself, cutting them off from escape. As the reality sinks in, fear spreads through the group. Kobeni completely breaks down, confessing she never wanted to be a devil hunter and only took the job because her family forced her into it. Arai tries to encourage her, but his own fear starts to show. Denji, however, remains oddly relaxed, even choosing to sleep in a comfortable hotel bed, believing things might still somehow work out. While the group tries to stabilize, they learn the truth. The weak devil they killed earlier has transformed into the massive Eternity Devil. It reveals its ability clearly. It has trapped them inside its stomach-like domain and can reshape the space at will. It then offers a horrifying contract. If they feed it Denji, it will let the rest of them go free. The group immediately fractures under pressure. Kobeni, driven into pure panic, suddenly grabs a knife and tries to kill Denji herself, screaming that sacrificing him is the only way to survive. Arai rushes to stop her while the situation spirals into chaos. In the struggle, Aki steps in and is stabbed protecting Denji, showing that despite his harsh attitude, he still refuses to abandon him. Himeno quickly uses her Ghost Devil contract ability to stabilize Aki's condition, preventing him from bleeding out. As the Eternity Devil continues to grow and mock them, the situation becomes worse. Time feels endless, food is running out, and hope is fading. Even arguments break out over whether killing Denji is the only logical option. Denji finally stops joking around. He realizes something crucial. The devil is reacting to pain. If it fears suffering, then overwhelming it might be the key. With no better plan left and no escape in sight, Denji makes a reckless decision. He transforms, activating his chainsaws and charging straight into the Eternity Devil's mass. Without hesitation, he allows himself to be swallowed whole. Inside the darkness of the monster's body, Denji disappears completely as the Eternity Devil screams in agony. But whether this is victory or suicide is still unknown. If you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe for more Chainsaw Man recaps and comment below if you want a part 2 to see what happens inside the Eternity Devil next.